Super Dragon Ball Heroes Anime Episode 5 is now officially in the history books as we have the long anticipated battle between Xeno Super Saiyan 4 Vegito against Super Saiyan 3 Cumber, but the question is, did the fight itself live up to expectations in its presentation value, in its visuals? And here today, we're going to be talking about it because this episode did have pros and cons to it, but I felt like the overall execution of the fights were decent, but the narrative of the story was not. But either way, episode 5 is in the history books and most definitely, if anything, was one of the shortest episodes, I would have to say, for Dragon Ball Heroes as a whole. Now, the way Super Dragon Ball Heroes episode 5 kicks off is with Super Saiyan God Goku having to fight against Cumber, and what's most interesting about this is seeing the overall fluidity of the battle, because early on, I really did enjoy how Cumber had the upper hand on God Goku, being that it would make sense for that to happen given the fact that Cumber completely decimated Super Saiyan Blue Goku, Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, and then of course Super Saiyan Blue Vegito. And the fight itself was so intense that once Cumber had knocked Goku down, he unleashed a massive blast that was basically breaking the chains all around the prison planet, and Fu was really angry because his entire laboratory was falling apart, and the idea that Cumber was putting out so much power that it was literally destroying everything around his facility. And we see how he's enraged, he's crushing items around him, and I thought it was okay. What I really enjoyed was seeing the brief battle between God Goku and Cumber, and after Goku emerged from this massive blast, he's basically on his knees. He's on his knees and Cumber is looking directly at him, and I don't even understand how Goku is able to fight back against him, but Cumber is incredibly massive when it comes to stature, when it comes to size, even muscle mass, because as soon as he grabbed Goku's punch, he threw him into the ground, and as he was holding on to his hand, he basically curb stomped his face, which was pretty cool because that just goes to show the ruthlessness behind Cumber, and the fact that Cumber in this situation had the upper hand on everybody, which was basically scary because at this point, nobody was able to do anything. And as he curb stomped Goku's head into the ground, Goku was done, that was it. And you have to take into account everything that Goku had went through, and the moment Cumber flies above Goku and he's about to deliver the finishing blow on Goku, he lets out a few shots, the energy blast begins to hit Goku, and then he begins to shoot out one final blast in which, as he does so, out of nowhere, Xeno Goku and Xeno Vegeta appear to save Capsule Corp Goku from dying. And what's most interesting here is the fact that we have Goku and Vegeta standing before Cumber, and Cumber's not intimidated. Even though it's a different version of Goku and Vegeta, I really enjoyed the overall presentation of Cumber having to stare them down in welcoming this challenge. But even then, Xeno Goku and Vegeta, they basically knew exactly what they were getting themselves into, and I loved Trunks' reaction. I really enjoyed Vegeta's reaction because nobody really expected for Xeno Goku and Xeno Vegeta to show up. But what I really could not stand was the early portion of this fight. Golden Cooler didn't do anything. He's just basically there, just overlooking everything, and that really rubbed me the wrong way because you have to ask yourself, what in the world is the moral purpose of Cooler even being there to begin with? To me, that was a big letdown because you introduce Golden Cooler and he's just basically the cheerleader of this entire thing. However, at that given point, we see how Cumber transforms into a Super Saiyan 3. We can tell that based on his eyebrows, we can tell based on his power. He transforms into a Super Saiyan 3, and realizing the threat that's at hand, Goku and Vegeta use the Potara earrings in creating Super Saiyan 4 Vegito. And this was a massive deal because the minute we saw Vegito be introduced, he went right for Super Saiyan 3 Cumber, and the fight itself was so explosive that it kind of makes you wonder how strong Xeno Super Saiyan 4 Vegito is in comparison to Super Saiyan Blue Vegito, because as they were fighting, they were legitimately shattering everything, and that's very alarming because, you know, early on we know that Super Saiyan Blue is stronger, but here, the Xeno variations of Goku and Vegeta seem to be a whole lot different than their blue counterparts because Vegito was going in for the punch, he was knocking Cumber around. It was visually pleasing to see how Cumber at this point was at a disadvantage because Cumber at this point had the upper hand on everybody as an Ozaru in his base form, and then as we see once more the same reenactment between Cumber letting off a massive energy attack and Xeno Super Saiyan 4 Vegito shooting out his Kamehameha wave. We saw the exact same beam struggle that we saw before with Blue Vegito and Cumber, except now both parties have evolved. We see how both parties are a bit different in that aspect. So I really did enjoy how we got to see Vegito struggle, because it's kind of unusual or taboo to see a fusion actually struggle in a fight, and I really did enjoy how, for the most part, Cumber had the upper hand. As a Super Saiyan 3, he was fighting Super Saiyan 4 Xeno Vegito with complete ease, and that was pretty intense, especially when it came down to the beam struggle. So again, this was basically portrayed the same in the essence, to where this time we see how Xeno Super Saiyan 4 Vegito had the advantage as opposed to the blue counterparts did not. And once that massive Kamehameha overtook Cumber, it was basically over from there. And the minute we see Vegito defuse, we see how Fu begins to power up. Goku and Vegeta are basically anticipating to see what he was going to do. And Cumber, for the most part, I guess he was like trapped in this massive red ball, but then Fu goes on the attack. And I will say, the entire environment, seeing how it was covered in darkness and red, it was really cool. And seeing how Goku was down on the ground, it was kind of riveting, because you kind of wondered what was next, and Xeno, Goku, and Vegeta were able to survive Fu's attack. So Fu by no means is fodder, even though I strongly disagree with his power level being so vastly high, and seeing the way he was moving throughout this battle. I mean, it just felt a little weird to me, but by the end of this battle, it basically signified that Goku and Vegeta are going to battle against Fu in the upcoming episode, and that to me kind of was like lackluster. It was a really short episode, but nonetheless, it did showcase the overall raw power that Xeno Super Saiyan 4 Vegito had when comparing that to someone like Cumber, which I still think in an essence, Cumber should have at least been on par with him, but by the end of it, it was what it was. And for me, I thought that the execution of Cumber was a little lackluster, because they could have added a bit more depth, they could have done a bit more to the overall character himself. And again, this was a very short episode. There was no involvement of Cooler, which was a huge disappointment. There was no involvement of any other party, which again was a huge letdown, because you have to ask yourself, what was the purpose of having Xeno Super Saiyan 4 Vegito if he was only in this fight for relatively about 60 seconds? And to me, that's always been a huge, downside or dislike for the fusion characters, is the fact that they show up and they disappear and they defuse so quickly. So this fight, this entire episode was okay. The fights were really cool. Anybody out there who even hates Heroes can say that the fights were cool. The fights weren't the best you've ever seen in Dragon Ball, but they were cool for what they were worth. However, the overall episode itself was meh, because you can't expect a story, you can't expect anything more, because so far, they're not introducing that. They're not introducing an element higher than that. So it's basically, you take what you can get, and what we're bound to get for the upcoming episode is going to be Ultra Instinct Goku versus Fu for the finale. So it's going to be most interesting to see how that happens, because you can only expect it. You can only expect to see UI return. Now, we don't know if it's going to be Ultra Instinct Omen or if it's going to be Mastered UI, but for what it was worth, it was still enjoyable to see. So let me know your thoughts down below, guys, in terms of Super Dragon Ball Heroes Episode 5. Again, it was very lackluster. It was very short, but the overall execution of fusions was decent, but their overall presentations were crap, because they come in, they deliver one massive attack, and it's over. It's like, what's the overall purpose of introducing these characters if this is what you're going to do? So UI Goku versus Fu, that's what's coming up next. For me, I mean, take it with a grain of salt. The fights were cool, but the overall episode was meh. It was stale, and it could have been better, but it is what it is. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Once more, if you guys are new to this channel and of course enjoy what you see, don't forget to go on ahead and slap a big fat like down below if you guys are new. Don't forget to also smash that subscribe button. Tune back in for more. There is so much that we're going to be covering in the next couple of weeks, in the next couple of days, for Dragon Ball Super Broly, for Dragon Ball Heroes, and all things Dragon Ball related. So of course, if you guys want to be kept in the loop with that, make sure you guys punch that subscribe button. Tune back in for more, and I'll be seeing each and every single one of you guys down in the comment section below. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace.
This is the legendary Super Saiyan. Before I destroy you, I'm going to need you to subscribe to UnrealEntGaming. and turn on notifications to never miss a single upload. Also, follow UnrealEntGaming on these social media platforms, and if you don't, I'll destroy you along with your entire planet.
What, Broly?
Frieza,
Uh-oh.
prepare to die!